What's up, people? Let's kick some butt. So, chess.com has got its holiday bots out. I suppose it is December. When the revolution comes, if I'm put in charge, I am going to make Christmas illegal outside of the month of December, but it's December 6th at the time of recording, so fair play. I've got my cup of joe. Now, first, of course, we must deal with the elephant in the room, which is what the f is this theme? I mean, dude, what is this? What's this meant to look like? Candy? What's this meant to look like? Gingerbread? I guess. Anyway, that's not really what Christmas is about. So, anyway, we've got 5 bots. We've got Leftover Turkey rated 325. We've got Ghost of Games Past, which looks like Ghost of Danny Wrench at 775. Should be alright there. Frosty the Snowman at 1350. I should have a good crack at that. Abominable Chessman. That's either Nepal or Tibet, isn't it? Nepal, yeah. Beautiful flag, love it. At 1825, so we could have a shot at that and then forget about it. Cabana Santa from Australia, which is interestingly, as it happens, where I'm off, hitting in 10 days' time. So I'm going to be spending this Christmas in Perth, Western Australia, with my partner and her family, before retiring to a little stay on the island of Bali for New Year, and then back down to Melbourne. So don't know for how long you'll see me in these surroundings, but hey, 53, and I'm literally taking all my shit in a backpack and travelling around the world with no return ticket and no return date. Still remain resident in the UK, but we will see. Anyway, the elephant in the room. This is fugly, innit? So here's what you do. Now, I made a short video on this last night. You go to settings, right? In chess.com, because nobody in their right mind wants to look at that ghastly whatever. This is my normal setting. I love the default chess.com green setting is just lush, so I keep that. Okay, you scroll down we're in Board and Pieces, by the way. Scroll down to here where it says enable special themes, and you turn that shit off. Now we're going to go back to play bots. And okay, Leftover Turkey. So I'm going to go random. I'm going to go no help. Could use help against the snowman, we'll see. Okay, I'm rated 1707 rapid right now. I've had a series of about 4 or 5 losses in a row. Okay, we've got the white pieces. Let's play the best move. Okay, so for this I'm going to use the checklist, as you can see below. Okay, and I'm going to try and use it properly, because I blundered a piece using it in my last bot game where I got beaten by somebody rated under 600. Rated under 600, not playing under 600. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so I've just brought the checklist up as well so I don't forget. And look, right, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at Chess Bootcamp that I haven't told you about. But all will be revealed, don't you worry. So you know that I've changed to being a full-time chess content creator. Well, the way that my brain works is I can't be satisfied just bringing out courses on openings and gambits and stuff like that. I'm going to do that stuff because it is fun, right? But really, what I'm here for is to solve problems, and chess is like the ultimate problem. Here's the thing: chess hasn't even been solved by the fastest computers known to man, and we know that computers are now quicker than humans is. Yeah, I think if there's something like 7 pieces on the board or something like that, it's solved. A computer can go, yep, I know who wins. Okay, but the game itself, nah, it's not been solved. There is no perfect way to play or whatever, as we know of right now. So, why am I saying all this? Well, it's still fun anyway, put it that way. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how, not just how to win at chess at different levels, but really how to improve at chess, which is the big goal. And there's a load of stuff out there. There's a load of systems out there. So you could buy, for example, if you're sitting comfortably, we will begin. There's going to be a bit of preamble, all right? So if you want to skip ahead to the game, then just scroll and you'll find it when the pieces move. You could buy Silman's How to Reassess Your Chess, okay? But if you're below maybe 1400, a lot of that's going to go over your head, and a lot of it's going to muddy the water. Because that's talking about imbalances in chess, and that is quite sophisticated. I would put that in the 15 to 2K category. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm breaking up the rating bands into 0 to 500. We're absolute beginners, okay? Which isn't to disparage everyone, but you've got to give it a title of some kind, right? 500 to 1000, maybe kind of breakthrough. 1000 to 1500, low intermediate. 1500 to 2000, intermediate to expert. Whatever. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what is it that you need to do at these levels. What is it that you need to fix or improve or master? Let's not use the word master, because that suggests 2200, right? Titled. Let me put some iodine in my coffee. What is it that you need to get good at these different levels to improve, raise your elo, get stronger, win games? Because it's different. It's different at every level. That's some sea salt going in the old coffee as well. A little bit of a potion here. I've already had my fix earlier on in the day. The Miracle Drops. I will be taking this for the rest of my life. This stuff is brilliant. It costs about £3 a dose, $3, $4 a dose, maybe. But it's life changing. Anyway, so it's what you need to learn is different at different levels, and I've brought out this course, Smash 500, right, which is where I set myself the task of what do people below 500 need to do in order to sail through 500, and that's what the course does, and it shows you that, proves it to you. Because what I do is I play a series of games from 100 rating to 500 rating, 11 games. I do win all 11 games, but I'm not playing like a 1700. I'm playing by very fixed rules. And this is the thing. Sub 500, what you need to do to get better at chess is stop shitting the bed. And that really boils down to two things. Spot hanging pieces, because your opponent will, from time to time, as we may see with Leftover Turkey, just offer you free shit. And you say, oh, I see, thank you very much for the free shit, I'm going to take it. Right? And don't hang your own shit. It's as simple as that. And you will win games by force, because your opponent will just gift you material. You just be a material girl. Sub 500. That's it. Seriously. And I prove it in the course. And what that does is it introduces this checklist. Okay. And here's the thing. Here's the big secret to all of this. This checklist is going to evolve into a matrix. Because sub 500, I've mapped out. Why did they make that move, right? All you need to do, you're a sub 500 player, you answer that question to your satisfaction, okay? Not to mine and not to an expert player, a title player, or the chess.com coach's satisfaction, okay? You answer that question for yourself, and you do not proceed past this checkpoint until you've answered that question to your own satisfaction. Okay, number 2, what's changed on the board? Oh my God. Right? Notice everything that's changed. What's now under attack? What's now not defended? Yeah? Etc. You write all those things down in your brain, and then you move forward. Number 3, is there a tactical issue? What do we mean by that? Is there either a tactical opportunity or a tactical threat? I've been using this for years in previous versions of this checklist. have I got hanging stuff? In which case, my job is not to lose the stuff if I possibly can. Right? And then you just move forward. Or has your opponent hung something, in which case your job is to grab the free stuff if you possibly can. Right? Now, if yes to tactics, then you skip default, which is number 4. And you go straight to, okay, what do I need to do? I need to grab the free stuff or save the stuff. That's it. You stop thinking at that point. You move on to, how many ways can I do that? Right? How many ways are there of getting out of check? How many ways are there of saving my rook? One of the things that marks out a weaker player from a stronger player is a stronger player nearly always considers more moves than the weaker player ever considers. Okay, how many ways can I do it? And then you look at those ways and you go, I think that one's best. Right? Am I confident in my choice? If you're playing online, you might hover the move that you're about to make and just double check, sanity check, that you haven't done something completely dumb, which we all do. And I promise you that 2,000 plus players do dumb shit as well. They just don't do it as much as you and I do. Okay, so that's the checklist at sub 500 level. It's all about the material. Just grab the material. Don't lose your own shit and grab theirs when it's offered. Simple. Okay. Now going up, guess what? It's the same questions. Why? Because these questions represent a full gestalt, so a full cycle of the thought process, what you need to go through when you're deciding what move to make. And that's all chess is. They make a move, you make a move. They make a move, you make a move. Repeat, okay, until somebody wins or it's a draw. The difference is the depth. When you're facing 600 rated players or 1200 rated players or 1800 rated players, you have to look deeper into, like, why did they make that move? One move deep at sub 500 is enough. So don't worry about that, okay? Later on it becomes what's their idea. Then it's what's their plan. Then it's what's their strategy. Do you know what I mean? Okay, but we're not going to worry about that. And I deliberately, even though my brain spots these patterns in the course, I deliberately put that aside. Okay, and I play, this is what I'm telling people to do, sub 500. Free stuff, grab it. Stuff is under attack, save it. Okay, so the other wrinkle here is if there are no tactics, you go to your default, which is in the opening, develop your pieces, control the center, get your king castled. Right? In the middle game, improve your pieces. Generally push them up the board to where they've got a better view of the board, control more squares. In the end game, consolidate and try and secure the best result. And again, we have to say this is within your knowledge, right? You may only know how to do a ladder mate. Fine. Okay? You don't need to know 20 different checkmating patterns. Right? You don't need to calculate sub 500. And here's the problem. Let's cut right to the chase. The problem is, let's say you're rated 900, right? You're watching videos by Naroditsky, you're watching videos by Ginger GM, you're watching my videos, you're watching all kinds of crap out there. Nelson Lopez, right? Levi Rosman, blah, blah, blah. Some of this stuff is going to be useful to you. A lot of this stuff is going to be positively unhelpful to you because it's too far down the road and you don't need that stuff right now. What you need to do is you need to look at your full thought process cycle represented by the checklist, okay, and see where there are holes. That's it. And it's going to be different at 800 from 1200 and etc, etc. Okay, let's play a game. That's enough of this. All right, so thank you, Leftover Turkey. You've been very patient, but I'm so excited about this stuff, guys, because what I feel like's going on is we're actually pulling back the curtain and revealing the mechanisms of how you improve. Anyway, a lot more to be said about that in the future. So, why has my opponent made that move? Well, we were attacking this pawn. They found a way to defend it, and I think that's the best way to defend it. There are other ways. With pawns, with bishop, with queen, blah, blah, yeah? This is a great way. Why? Because we're in the opening phase of the game. How do you know that? Because the rooks can't see each other. And therefore our job is to develop pieces, correct, Control the centre of the board. Correct. Happy days. Job done. Move on. Next move, right? So, we attack this. He's defended. What's changed on the board? The pawn is now defended, so I'm not going to take it. That would be dumb. Okay, are there tactics to win or save material? No. Right, at the start of the game, these squares here, these two ranks, the 4th and the 5th, are uncontested. Right, at the start of the game, all of these ones are controlled by white's pawns and his knights, some of them. Same on the other side for black. All these guys in the middle ain't. So what we want to do is we are racing for control of as much of the board as possible. Okay, so we've done this. All right. Now, we're in the opening phase of the game. There's no tactics, so we go to our default. What is our default? Our default is development. Let's bring out a bishop. You can go here. Or we could bring out this knight. Let's bring out a knight. Knights before bishops, yeah? Generally. Okay, we've got a 4 knights game. Perfect. What's changed? Opponent's attacking this pawn. Is it defended? Yes. Stop there. Move on. All right, what do we want to do? We want to bring out our bishops. It could go here, it could go here, it could go here, it could go here. In general, I'm telling people at the sub 500 level, stick it as far up your opponent's nose as you can. So I'm putting it all the way to the 5th rank. Okay, why did my opponent make that move? Maybe he was worried that his knight was under attack. Okay. What's changed on the board? He's attacking our bishop. Is it defended? Fine. Yes. Defended by the knight. He's attacking our knight. Is that defended? Yes. Defended by the queen. Okay. So, stop. So, I don't need to save material, right? And can I win material? I could take the knight. It gets recaptured by a pawn. So, no. So what I'm going to do, develop, I want to get this bishop out on the board, which means I've got to move one of these 2 pawns. So I'm going to move this one. Takes. Okay. Why did my opponent make that move? Because people at the beginner level always take material, even if there's no advantage to it. Not always, but you know what I mean. Okay. So, we're in check. Therefore, we're straight into tactics. Default is out the window. We hit pause on default. What do I need to do? Not be in check. And also recapture my material. How many ways have I got to do it? Pawn takes knight or queen takes knight. I'm going to do it with development, queen takes knight. That's it. And now look, we've got 1, 2, 3 pieces out on the board. My opponent's got 1. Okay, now we have... By the way, you can also say what's changed on the board after your move as well, particularly if your opponent thinks. Now, my opponent isn't really thinking, so that's not going to give us any time. It's silicon-based anyway. But yeah, what's changed on the board? Well, now I'm attacking that. You know, I could attack it again, blah, blah, blah. That's not defended, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just within the limits of your own experience and pattern recognition. That's all we ask. Okay, so from the top with passion, why did they make that move? The only reason I can think is to develop this bishop. Okay. Are there tic-tacs? No. I could take the knight, but pawn takes or queen takes, and that would be dumb, because the knight's worth 3 and the queen's worth 9. Bad trade. Alright, so, is any of my stuff under threat? Not that I can see. Therefore, no tactics, we go to default. What do we want to do? Develop. Okay, is it safe to put my bishop there? Yeah, it's as far up the board as I can, fair enough. This apparently is the Rubinstein counter gambit. I've never heard of this in my life. Because I don't play the 4 knights, that's why. Alright, so, why did my opponent make that move? He hates my bishop and doesn't want him in his half of the board. I appreciate that. So, we're in tactics, right? Because we've got something under attack. That's all we need to spot at this level. So what do I need to do? Not lose the bishop. Can't put it there, can't leave it there. I've got 1, 2, 3. There's no defending the bishop because it's being attacked by a pawn value 1. Bishop's worth 3, so recapturing isn't an option. So what do I want to do? Keep it as far up the board as possible here. Why did my opponent make that move? Because he's rated 325. The knight was in a pin. The queen is now hanging. Not even going to think. Free stuff. Yeah? Grab it. Okay. So, tic-tacs. Why did they make that move? Well, it's the only legal move on the board. What's changed on the board? Opponent's got no queen. We'll big up in material. Happy days. Okay, tactics. Is there a way to win material? Well, yes, there's a hanging pawn here. Bishop attacks that, but it's defended twice, so we can ignore that. Hanging pawn, take. Why did my opponent make that? You'll get tired of hearing me say that, but believe me, I've done nearly 4 hours of games with asking that question. I got bored of hearing myself say it, but the point is that you say it to yourself until it becomes second nature. And yet, even when it is second nature, there's times when you forget to do that. Okay. Are there any tactics? I could take that, it's defended. I could take that, it's defended. I could take that, it's defended. Nah, not really. So, default. What haven't we done? We haven't castled the king. Let's castle. I'll go queenside. Why? Don't matter. Alright, what's changed with that move? The pawn was defending that knight. It's no longer defending that knight. The knight is hanging. The knight is under attack. Boom. Dead. Only two legal moves on the board. Okay, now what? Why has our opponent done that? He has to get out of check legally. He had two ways of doing it. He could have blocked with a bishop here. Alright, so what's changed on the board? The king's moved, lost castling rights. This pawn is now in a pin. It wasn't in a pin before. So I could actually, if I was being fancy, play queen e6 check. But I don't need to do that because there's two hanging pawns here. There's also a hanging rook. Rook. Why not? You see? I didn't even see that rook, and because that's why I have to stop. You stop and tell yourself what's changed on the board. You will be amazed. Free pawn. Okay? We'll speed up a little bit now. You get the point, though. Okay, I've got a bishop looking at this. Why did they make that move? He was in check. What's changed on the board? Don't know. King still can't castle. He's got no material left. Queen f6 check. Okay, save. Free pawn. Take. You don't even need to double check and watch your back at this level. Okay, so let's finish the game. Queen f7. I'm hitting the bishop. Free bishop. He has to come here. Okay. My queen is now under attack. What's changed on the board? Okay, so straight into tactics. My job is save the queen. Drop it back here. Happens to come with check. My bishop was also under attack, so forgive me for playing that little shortcut. Okay, I'm up loads of material. If I get any chance to trade off pieces, I will. I will trade off a queen for a rook. Watch me. Yeah, I'm just winning. All roads lead to Rome here. I'm going to push a pawn up the board. We're now in the end game. What do you want to do in the end game? You want to win the game. Okay. Under attack. Defend. I could have traded it for 2 pawns as well. Nah. Not today, sunshine. I'm going to stick a rook behind my pawn. And I'm going to win the game with this pawn. Get a queen. Knight covers that square. Queen covers these. Let's bring in the rook. King has to go here. Okay, the bishop's now pinned. And the game finishes with this move. Ladder mate, there you go. Okay, all happy? So that was leftover turkey. Let's go to the new bot. Still sticking with our lovely default theme that's pleasant on the eyes, as opposed to the absolute eye shite that these guys come up with. Okay, why did my opponent make that move? He's attacking my undefended pawn. Okay, so I've got a piece that's under attack and undefended, therefore hanging, therefore we go straight into tactics. What do I want to do? Not lose material. What can I do? I can defend it a bunch of ways. Yeah, some of them are bad. Knight here. Okay. I could push it forward up the board. I could take the pawn. I'm just going to push it up the board. Okay, why did my opponent make that move? Don't know. Pawn in the middle. There's no tactics, right? There's nothing to win, nothing to save. So go straight to default. Control the centre. I've now moved both pawns. I could take that knight if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm going to develop knights. I'm really shortcutting the process here. Okay. Why did he make that move? Attacking this pawn in the centre. Is it defended? Yes, twice. How many times is it attacked? Once. Carry on. Ignore it. Okay, so let's continue developing knights. Knights before bishops. Here are the knights. Let's bring out a bishop. Attack the queen. Oops. Okay, good move. Right, now my bishop's under attack, therefore we're in tactics. Okay, what do I want to do? Not lose the bishop. Simple. I want to keep it as far up the board as I can, so I can go to here, I suppose. So we're now playing a 7-7-5. He does this. Okay, want to not lose the bishop. I've got the option again of takes, 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 but that then queen takes there, so we're not doing that. I appreciate we may have to think a little bit more in this one. Okay, so let's assess. Why did they make that move? Hard to tell. Lots of queen moves in the opening, generally inadvisable. Okay, so what's changed on the board? We've still got tension between these pawns. Is there a way? Is there a tactical win? I could take, he takes back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my default. I'm going to develop my pieces. Bishop here or here. I think here it's got potentially more view of the board, so I'm going to stick it on d2. Queen to here. Why do you make that move? It's attacking this pawn. Is it defended? Yes. All right, the queen's defense is now blocked, but the knight still defends. Yes, he might push g4, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Castles. Why did my opponent make that move? Hard to say. He's extra defending this pawn. Maybe he wants to castle kingside. That's it. End of. All right, so we haven't developed the queen. Let's develop the queen. Because there's no immediate attack. We've already established blah, blah, blah. Okay, why did my opponent make that move? He's attacking that knight. He's also pinning the knight. So the knight can't move without losing the queen. We don't want to do this. I'm going to kick him. I'm going to take him. Okay. I realise now that I am shortcutting the process slightly. Okay. So now we're in the middle game. He's not. Ghost of Danny is not in the middle game. So we want to improve our pieces. We are, however, already up material. So this is a point for 500 to 1000. An equal trade counts as tactical, whatever, tactically appropriate. We're not even thinking about sacrifices at this point. So, you know, ideas like taking with one of these minor pieces, removing both of these central pawns, sticking a... Actually, that would be really nice. There, if he takes, bishop takes, we hit both rooks. Yeah? But we're at 700 level. Would I expect you to play that 700 level? Probably not. So what are we going to do? Let's finish centralising the rooks. Yeah? Why did my opponent make that move? Maybe he's planning on trapping my bishop. Maybe I should let him. Maybe I will sacrifice the bishop. Shh, don't tell him. Okay, I'm in the middle game. I want to improve my pieces. There's no immediate tic-tacs. Okay, well, let's just check there for purposes of whatever. That pawn's under attack twice. Well spotted, Benjamin. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, it's under attack twice. It's defended once. So I don't want to lose that. I'm going to move my knight up the board, block the bishop's view of that pawn. He could have actually taken the pawn there. Okay, queen comes back. Okay, my knight's under attack but well defended by pawn and queen and rook. I'm attacking this. It's defended by the knight. There's nothing really to do. I know this trap threat is still on, but, you know, you have to look a couple of moves deep to see that. I'm just going to push a pawn up the board. I've got a rook in opposite a king. I could retake with pawn, or queen. I'm going to retake towards the centre with the pawn. That's principled. It also comes with the disco. Okay, king to here. Is anything defending this pawn? So what's changed on the board? The king has blocked the rook's view of this. Free stuff. I'm way up in material. Trade. Okay, rook's now looking at this pawn. Is it defended? Yes. Okay. So let us now... I want to bring my other pieces to play, right? Let's chuck in a check for now. Okay. I'm going to attack the rook, which is in a pin. I'm going to trade everything because I'm up in material. Trade everything. Now, these pieces aren't great, are they? We're in the middle game, okay? I'm up a full bishop at this point. This pawn is under attack and undefended. Can I defend it? No. So what I want to do is I want to bring my other pieces into the game. Appreciate I could still get my bishop trapped. He's not seen it. Okay, I want to bring my other pieces into the game. Why did my opponent make that move? Don't know. I want my rook to have more fun. See, right now, this rook is seeing these squares. Are those squares important? Well, are they in any way associated with this king? No. So what I'm going to do is move the rook, move the king, sorry, so that the rook has more scope. I'm now going to improve my bishop, attack this pawn which is undefended. He gives check. I'll stick my king here. This happens to guard the insertion points here. I'm not too worried. Alright, so let's improve the bishop. Block the rook. He might play this move. He has not. Okay, so I will. Pushing my pawns further up the board. They get stronger. Everybody happy? Let's give a check then. He's not got many moves. He can go there or there. Okay, it's nearly all over. It is now. He's got this. Free pawn. You see how just simple things have made my life so much easier. The king's actually got no squares now, if you notice. Although the rook is undefended, so let's move that. Put it here with check. Okay. Move my knight closer to the king. A check, is that mate? No, he's got this. This comes here. That attacks my rook and my knight, and my knight is defended. This undefends the bishop. There's got to be a win here, isn't there? Bring my knight round. Threaten to push this pawn up. One legal move. Oh! Okay, what didn't I do? Right? Am I confident in my choice? Did I sanity check that move? No. I pushed the pawn without saying what would change with this move. Undefending the bishop. Okay, so anyway, I'm getting tired of this world. I'm going to check him. Let's finish this off. So I didn't check him, obviously. King here. He can't go here. He's got no squares. Checkmate. All right. So can you see what happened there? How I blundered a piece. Why? One reason. Test. What didn't I do? The checklist. 3 words. The checklist. That's it. You do that on every move, right? All you're doing is just you're following the process. If you work in a factory, you're given a system that you do it in this way. This happens, you do that. That's all you have to do at this level, all the way up to 1000 and beyond. The checklist just involves more thinking at more depth as you grow. That's it. Right, I'm going to leave this video at this point because I've talked more than enough. I'm sure you'll agree. Thanks for watching. See you later.